Today didn't go well either. What's he talking about? Breakfast? Today's breakfast was another dismal failure. All of the boarders showed up for breakfast, but the only one who finished her meal was Kanako. There must have been something wrong with it. All I have to do is make meals and clean. What a piece of cake. Is what I thought when I accepted the job as dorm mother, but my confidence is gradually fading.
何しけた面してんだよ、この裏切り者め。
What do you want? Masatsugu joined me on the way to school, went out of his way to comment, sling verbal abuse. A few things happened at the dormitory. Dealing with girls can be tough.
そういうことなら俺に聞け。何せ俺今彼女いるもんね。
Yeah, isn't she a freshman at Seisen Girls School? Seisen Girls High School is a school for rich girls and is famous even in this neighborhood. The uniform has a reputation for being cute, so fans come from far and wide just to take a look.
エリちゃんって言うんだけどさ、写真見る？
Eddie-chan. He looks like he's about to show me, so I go along with it. Wow, seriously, she's cute.
だろう？一緒にバンドやってんだ。エリちゃんがボーカルとベースで、俺がギター。
Mabo, you can play guitar?
エリちゃんのために必死に練習した。今じゃインギー並みの早弾きだってできるぜ。
Who's Ingui? Da 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 da, he goes as he shows off some great air guitar. Anyway, who the hell is Ingui?
お前さ、
That's what I was
前の
asking.
学校で自転車やってたんじゃねえの？
Yeah, I was. What about it?
もうやんねえわけ？でもうちには自転車部なんてねえけど。
Yeah, I don't do it anymore.
うん。
Masatsugu's face seemed to say it's got nothing to do with me though.
でっかい大会で表彰台に上がったんだろ？
Did you hear that from Anchan?
アゲハもホタルも今度のレースは応援にくっついてくってあんちゃんに言ってたんだぜ。
Who was Hotaru again?
まあ一応俺もだけどな。
That made me go a bit red. But he's the one who's going red.
あ、勘違いすんなよ。俺はお前がブサマに負けるところを見に別に応援なんかするつもりなかったんだからな。
He seems to be a tsundere too. Yeah, I get it. Don't get so flustered.
アゲハのやつ悔しがってたぞ。お前のいいとこ見られなくて。お前そういうの分かってんのか？
No, I didn't know. I never thought that I would make it to the podium. Even if I knew it was too far away for me to say, come and watch me.
なのにろくに連絡もよこさねえでよ。
Same goes for both of us. Besides, I sent you a new year card every year, didn't I?
あんなコンビニで売ってるプリント済みのやつでか。
You did the same thing! Anyway, your new year cards usually arrive at the end of January.
返してもらえるだけありがたいと思えこの。
おお、珍しい二人組発見。
Don't call us a couple. Hi, Ageha.
どうしたの、マーボー。
Masatsugu was sneakily hiding in my shadow.
別になんでもねえよ。あんま慣れ慣れしくすんなよ。エリちゃんが怒るから。
はいはい。かわいいかわいい彼女ですもんね。
Jokingly, Ageha deliberately keeps her distance from Masatsugu as she walks. Masatsugu comes up beside me and gives me a little poke in the ribs.
さっきの話、アゲハには内緒な。
What thing?
あいつがお前のレース見に行きたがってたって話。
Okay, I got it. Is it the sort of thing that needs to be kept a secret?
何男同士でベタベタしてんの？
ちげえよ。誰がこんなやつと。ペッペ。
Ew, gross! You don't have to actually spit?
仲いいね。焼けちゃうわ。
バカアゲハ。
Yeah, don't say weird things like that. Lunchtime. Today I didn't eat my lunchbox early. Why is he talking to himself? As I basked in this tiny sense of achievement and got my lunchbox out, Kotori had already disappeared from the classroom. As she looked out into the hallway, she was pacing back and forth as if she were thinking, should I go forward? No, maybe I should go back? Are you waiting for me? Letting out a cry not really befitting a pretty little girl, Kotori fanned herself with her left hand as if to calm herself down.
脅かさないでくれる？
Sorry, I only wanted to speak to you, that's all. You're going, aren't you? To the garage.
ええ、そうよ。別にあなたを待ってたわけじゃないけど。
Okay, shall we go? I push her wheelchair on the way.
勝手に押さないで。
Here, hold this, would you? I pass my bag to her.
こら、人を荷物置きみたいにするな。誰もいないみたい。
The garage was open, but there was no one there. For some reason, it felt like Amane was always here, so it was a little surprising. The air conditioning's not turned on, so it's quite humid. What should we do?
どうするって言われても。
Kotori subconsciously put her hand on her stomach. Shall we have our lunch in here? I made one for you too, Kotori. Well, I meant leftovers from breakfast. Kotori didn't come to breakfast, so she shouldn't have any way of knowing what I made.
それも寮母の仕事なの？
No, I'm just meddling. I put the 3 lunch boxes on the workbench. I went to the trouble of making one for Amane too, though. The air conditioner isn't turned on in the garage, so if I just leave it here, it will go bad. There's a refrigerator, so I decide to put it in there. If I leave a note on the desk, she'll realize it is in there and then eat it, won't she? Could you turn on the electric fan? Kotori turns on the nearby electric fan.
エアコンは？
I can't find the remote controller. It's probably buried somewhere. We open up the lunchboxes in the area that gets the full force of the wind from the electric fan.
何これ？カレー？
You don't like curry? This morning's breakfast was curry. You don't like it?
普通カレーをお弁当にするかな？
You can complain after you've eaten it. Kotori has a meek look on her face as she moves the cold curry towards her mouth.
冷めてても美味しい。
It would be good if we had the microwave, though. For a little while, the two of us quietly eat our curry. Today there is no sheet covering the glider. I gazed at the simple, sleek shape of its body and thought it was beautiful. I imagined the aircraft cutting through the air as it flew. When riding a bicycle, your greatest enemy is the wind. Kotori's face seemed to say, what is this guy talking about all of a sudden, but I carry on regardless. The worst thing is when you have a headwind, well, it is constantly pushing you back, you have to keep pedaling. I faced the wind coming through the electric fan, set too strong, and I remember that feeling a little. The feeling of the wind gradually draining my stamina. That's why when we ride a bicycle, we try to find ways to reduce air resistance. Not just the shape of the bike or the helmet. During the race, we cooperate with the members of other teams and form a group while riding. I thought that when riding a bike, it would be better if the wind wouldn't blow. But this thing rides the wind to fly.
ジェットエンジンもプロペラもないのにね。
If we hadn't actually seen it flying that day, even with the real thing right in front of us, we wouldn't be able to imagine it flying. Speaking of which, Kotori, how do you know so much about gliders? She didn't really know that much about them. That was the first time she had seen a real one.
別にちょっと本で読んだだけ。
Somehow it seems like it's hard for her to answer, so I decide not to question any further. Speaking of books, there's a bookshelf here lined with many books. Looking closely, they are all related to gliders or aircraft. I pick one up and take a look inside. It's all in English, I can't read it. It's not like my grades in English are bad, but with the level of English I have from studying at school, reading academic papers is really tough. Seems like Kotori is the same.
こっちの本は写真がいっぱい載ってるわ。
There was a book that had many photos of gliders like a catalogue. There are so many different types. The shape of the wings, the size, and so on. Even with gliders, there are so many different varieties.
見てこれ。
What's happening in this picture?
山の上を飛んでる。
It looked so natural that I didn't really notice, but the glider was flying high enough that it could look down on the mountain. They can fly that high? Kotori and I, without realizing both, look at the glider sitting over there. With its wings removed, we couldn't really grasp the full size of it, but at a glance it didn't seem all that different compared to the glider in the photo. Amane had said that it could go above the clouds. I wonder what it feels like to fly through the sky.
きっと最高の気分よ。上昇気流に乗って飛ぶなんてまるで鳥になったみたいじゃない。
After we finished our lunch boxes, we stayed for a little longer. We spent the time looking at books and admiring the glider. When the bell rang, it felt like the time to enjoy ourselves was over, and I felt a little sad.
何かしらこれ。
Just as we were about to go back to the classroom, Kotori noticed a photo frame on Amane's desk. I wonder what this is. The weird thing was that there was a photo frame but no photo inside. An empty photo frame had been placed there. In her case, she probably managed to lose just the photo inside. What's up?
なんでもないわ。行きましょう。ここ暑くてたまんない。
The moment we stepped out of the sauna-like garage, the air outside felt cool. Phew. I'm worn out. It's easy to say clean the bathroom, but I never thought it would be such a big job. Plus, there's no air conditioning in there, so I'm sweltering. The trouble is, if I don't do this every day during the summertime, then mold will start growing. It's not just about hygiene, it's kind of gross too. There's no way you can take a bath when there's mold growing in there. My cell phone rang. On the display, it showed home. Hello?
もしもし葵、私だけど
What's up?
別にどうしてるかと思って。どう？順調？
I can't say that it's going smoothly. I didn't think of it much when I accepted the job, but it turned out to be pretty tough.
そりゃそうよ。楽な仕事なんてないのよ。
There probably are a few. Going to school every day and doing the work of a dorm mother is wearing me out. I realized this after only a few days. This is a lot of hard
で
work.
も今はその方がいいんじゃない？
Why?
嫌なこと思い出さずに済むじゃない。
Well, if that's what you think, don't talk about it.
それともママが恋しくなった？
A mother like you? She's the kind of mother who loves teasing her son, but did she get me to do this dorm mother job because she was worried about me? I'm so busy that I don't have time to dwell on things. Speaking in the hallway, the other boarders may have been able to hear me, so I went back to my room. We continue our silly parent-child conversation. My mother is a fiercely independent person and a hardworking career woman. Many things have been happening until recently. Well, they're still going on now, and we were living separately. I'm a bit too old to be missing my mother, though. It's enough for me to just speak to her from time to time.
学校の方はどうなの？
It's going fine. Ageha's there too.
あげはちゃん綺麗になったわね。こないだ久しぶりに会ってびっくりしちゃった。
Me too. She's like a proper girl now.
あら、そんな風に余裕ぶっこいてられるのも今のうちよ。あげはちゃん、これからもっともっと綺麗になるわよ。愛想もいいし、気遣いもできるし、間違いなくモテるわね。
Jeez, cut it out. What are you talking about?
あらやだ、口が悪いわね。誰に似たのかしら。
Yeah, you. Would a mother usually tell her son to go chasing after
それ
girls?
じゃ、頑張ってね。トラブルがあったらすぐ言いなさい。
Sure.
それから、もし仕事が大変だったら、寮生に負担してもらってもいいのよ。超格安物件なんだから、そのくらいしてもらわないと。
I'll think about
そ
it.
れじゃ、おやすみ、葵ちゃん。
She called me that on purpose because she knows I don't like it, and then ended the call. My father's the one who chose to call me Aoi, but it's kind of a girl's name, so I was often teased about it, and it seems she still remembers. I put down my phone and take a look at the boarding students' roster. As for the boarders' jobs, cleaning their own room is a given, then there's cleaning the hallways and entrance, as well as the dining hall. On the other hand, my jobs are to prepare breakfast and dinner, clean up afterwards, clean the bathroom and the garden, and other miscellaneous chores. It is actually pretty tough. Maybe I should ask for some help. Even if I can't just get them to clean the bathroom, that would be a real lifesaver. Huh? Yuka? Yuka, who is in the dining hall, is the tall 4th year and the one who has been here the longest. She seems surprised as I call out to her.
何かしら、水瀬くん。
Can I ask you a question? I lay out the roaster that I was just looking at on the table where Yuka is sitting. Yuka, who should be used to seeing this, looks at it with curiosity. Kotori doesn't have a name on the job roster. Starting with Kanako, then Yuka, there are 4 names, but Kotori's name is not there.
だって、あの子、
Yuka looks towards the dining hall door as she speaks.
足が不自由だから。
I see, so that's why. Thank you.
いえ。 The scorching sun comes shining in. Up on the roof, with nothing to block the sunlight, it feels even more like I'm being burned. Today is hot as hell. I grumble as I wipe the sweat from my brow. It's already 7 o'clock. It's just before the peak of summer and the sun is finally shining at full strength. Today is Saturday, so there's no school. Now is my chance to get some of the dorm mother work done. This morning I've climbed up on the roof and I'm fixing leaks. This building is in pretty bad condition. I hear that the owner who collapsed a few days ago and who was also the caretaker here is an elderly woman. Because it was a girls' dormitory with no guys around, there were quite a few places that had been left damaged. This place is so old that I can't help wondering if originally it was aiming to be registered as a cultural heritage site. The owner, who is a widow, opened the manor house as a student dormitory before I was born. Which means that when we were calling this place the Witch's Mansion, students from Keihu Academy were already living here. Since then, the owner had been taking care of the boarding students like they were her own children or grandchildren. However, since the redevelopment plans were brought forward, land prices in Kazigawara have been rising. The owner's sons were hoping to let go of this place, which was one of the reasons why I was brought on to take the dorm mother's job in such a hurry. It might be hard to avoid getting involved in those kinds of adult matters, so I will just quietly get on with the work that I have to do. Alright, that should do it. Finishing the repairs to the roof, I climbed down the ladder. Okay, next is... Hat, who was pecking at the soil, had come closer to where I was going to put my feet as I climbed down. This is kind of besides the point, but ducks eat weeds and bugs, so it seems that if I just leave him to it, he will maintain the garden. However, he will also peck at the flowers and so on too, so the person doing the gardening needs to watch out for that. What's up, Hat? Where's your buddy? I have no idea what he's saying, but he definitely looks bored. Sorry, but I've got work to do. When I get back, I'll give you a bath. The door to Kotori's room was closed. I couldn't hear any sound and there were no signs that she was awake. Still asleep, huh, sleepyhead? Hey, Kotori! Wake up, Alul! Hey, Miss Alul! うっさいわね。何事よ。
I'm going to do some shopping. Do you want to come with me?
は？そんな理由でアミを妨げたの？
Her face seemed to say, if this was America and I sued you, you would lose. Probably. You're oversleeping. It's a nice sunny day, so let's go outside.
なんで私があなたの買い物に？
It's shopping for the dormitory. You eat too, don't you?
用意するからちょっとだけ待ってて。げっ。
Seeing Ageha give a great big wave, Kotori makes an annoyed face. Hi, Ageha.
おっす、葵。ハバネさん、おはよう。おはよう。ちょっと、なんであの子がいるのよ。レオの買い出しって言ったじゃん。
Hey, isn't it the first time we see Ageha in her casual clothes? Looks nice. It's fine, there's something I need help with. I had planned from the beginning to meet up with Ageha. That's because I want her as a special advisor for today's work. Right, let's go.
行こう行こう。
We arrived at the underground street of the shopping mall. But we will do the shopping next time on If My Heart Had Wings. So, as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, goodbye.